It is Monday, Memorial Day, May 26, 2025. I still can't get over these new Starbucks cup. Whether it's cold or hot, it does say this cup is compostable. I'm drinking an ice shaken. And you do have the option of a straw. But yeah, it's going to have to be getting some used to because you just hope that they don't make a mistake. Maybe they can tell by the straw hole whether you need a straw or not. But if you feel the touch and it's warm, you know that it's the wrong thing when you ask. But whatever it is, hot or cold, the touch could be warm and you want it cold, and the cold could be warm. I have not really talked about the big restaurants. Of course, I talked about the ones on Route 66, Restaurant Row, a little bit compared to the old Restaurant Row in the Wilshire area in LA, where they had quite a few restaurants. Some changed, some is gone. Some you don't really see anymore because of the changing climate of people's tastes. And a lot of those restaurants have survived in the much well-to-do areas. Then they moved to not wealthier, but average middle-class areas. And even the middle-class areas are pretty much gone, as we know the reasons why. And there are more people working in other restaurant type, or shall I say service, food service type industries, making less money. But nevertheless, the restaurants that I frequented that are either gone or almost gone is, of course, it's the Red Lobsters. Not necessarily my favorite, but it was the Red Lobsters. The Velvet Turtle. Most of you probably never even heard of the Velvet Turtle. I used to go to these places. Didn't really had a strong taste for them, but I was different then. We just go where everyone wanted to go on special occasion. So the Velvet Turtle was one. You don't see those around anymore. Black Angus is still around. A couple of them have closed. Quite a few of them have closed over the years. Probably due to the same economic straining that all the other restaurants are still going through even today. Because they were all over the place, even way before the pandemic. And a lot of them had lost business. And then let's talk about the Claim Jumpers. That was probably underrated, but they still closed up little by little. Whether there's one or two around or not, I don't know. I try to keep up with it. If I saw one today, I would go to it. Whether they have the same clientele or not, I would not know. And there are a whole bunch of other restaurants. You got your Olive Garden that's still around. And you have one of the most expensive restaurants that is still around. They only have one or two that was all over the place, and that is the Brown Derby. It's usually called the Derby. They do have some offshoots of the Derby, whether they were the part of the original Brown Derby. There's a Derby in Redlands that I saw. Whether it's still there or not after the pandemic, I don't know. But when you talk about costs, it seems that the restaurants that you would consider not the top of the line, like the Derby, would be considered less money. But when these restaurants, all of them, that are not as high as the Derby, are selling their plates of food and their drinks just as high as what you would pay at the Derby, then you know there's something going on right there. Because definitely if you go to the Derby, that's a high-class place, pretty much. I don't wear short pants at any of these places. I don't know if they allow short pants there. But I think the clientele, and these other restaurants, you can tell sometimes by the dress standards. So even if the dress standards are not what you think, and you're still paying that much for food, then that's something else. Especially when you talked about people going about visiting from different places, from different countries. It's just not the same atmosphere. Now, of course, you can go to some nice restaurants. You can go to the TGIF, your Applebee's, some of those others. They're like mid-range. You can get by on a little bit. In fact, you can get by on most all of them for a little bit. But some of these restaurants, when you compare the prices, you know that it is definitely the economic climate. Now, of course, when you talk about, now see, that's just regular food. Now this is not the hybrid areas. I'm calling them hybrid-like because sometimes they sell both Hispanic food, standard, what you call American food. Sometimes they have fusion, Asian fusion mixed in with the Hispanic food. And sometimes they got all three. But then again, what is American food? Meat, potatoes, steak, prime rib, champagne if it's a brunch. And sometimes you can compare the Hispanic or Mexican restaurants with the other restaurants. You get a lot of bang for your buck. There's no doubt about that. You can seem to have more food with your choices, even though you know what to expect. And it can be very expensive. It can be. But normally, you can get what you want, pretty much. Now, when you go to Asian restaurants, whether it's Chinese or Thai, you can spend a pretty penny, but you can get by. You can get by even for two people, a little bit lower. But most restaurants, including Chili's, BJ's, which I haven't only been to a couple of times. I need to go back there and check that one out. Depending on what you order, Most of the time your bills now will tip over $100 easily, especially if you just buy one drink. And that's all you need to do. And it's amazing how some people go out and others that don't because they say it's too expensive. No one really has the cash. When you do have cash, you want to keep the cash in your pocket for other kinds of things. But most of us don't have the cash. We use the credit card. It's safer that way. You can always get another credit card. But if you lose the cash right then and there, it's hard to replace the cash. But all these restaurants, from the low range to the high range, you can spend just for two people over $100. And that's not to be funny at all. That's just the way it is. This is Robin Deschamps on Memorial Day, drinking out of the new compostable cup. I'm not eating no food. I ate some potato salad this morning, just a little bit, as a quick snack breakfast at home. I'm too full, not right because of what I ate last night. That was my Memorial weekend, pre-weekend Monday dinner. And that made me very full this morning. I probably want to eat another turkey burger and the other delectables sometime tonight. I'll see you in my next video, folks. Talk to you later.